Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new spoiler review. I'm back with my new spoiler review of HBO's Lovecraft Country, episode 5, the one that dropped just last night on HBO Max, wherever you can find this show. Before I start my actual spoiler review of the show, if you're new to Math Talks Movies, the best way to support this channel is to hit that like button. Leave a comment, leave your predictions of future episodes, leave me your spoiler thoughts of the show so far and this episode as a whole. Share this video, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and also before you want to check out this spoiler review, if you have already watched the first 4 episodes of this show, I have each episode spoiler reviewed, different videos already up on my YouTube channel, so please go down a rabbit hole and click on those videos. I'll leave a card for those at the end of this video. So overall, guys, I was, again, really excited for this episode, and this is one of the most unique episodes, the most unique episode of the show that we've gotten so far. One of the most graphic, nudity type of show, one of the episodes that we've gotten so far in the entire show. Now, what's fascinating about this episode, that this is really Ruby's episode. Ruby, who is the sister to Letty, who we saw last episode sleep with William, during that episode. So we're wondering, where would she be involved in this show? And remember, I have not read the book, so don't leave me spoilers of what happens in the rest of the show. The twists and turns I am doing with. So that's why I have Ruby, William, and Christina here, because those are the 3 main characters of this episode. So Ruby, we learn now can transform into a white woman with this potion. And that's kind of the gift that William gave her. So now this whole episode, she goes back and forth between this white lady, Davenport, I believe is her name, and Ruby. And we go back to the 4th episode, basically, where Ruby went for that, wanted to get this job at this place, but there's already a colored woman there, so she knew she had no chance at the job. But then she goes back as a white woman, and she gets the assistant manager job. And how different is being a white woman and a colored woman during these times, and really just a woman in general during these times. Even though it was probably better at the time to be a white woman than a colored woman, it was still bad to, not a good place to be in the country as a woman, obviously, during these times. The way they were seen by their bosses, their male white bosses, obviously was the kind of the way they use race in this episode is actually the strongest, in my opinion, since the first episode. And this is a really good episode for that. Now, Jonathan Majors and Journey Smollett, Atticus and Letty, they are really side characters, really thrown to the back burner in this episode to Ruby, which I'm okay with. I wasn't in the early part, but once you get to learn about this stuff, it really started to click really well for me. But their romance begins to grow. Their relationship, there's a sex scene the first time you see them, and then they move into, they're just talking about how special this relationship really is. And before I talk about more of that, I'll talk about that at the end of the video as well, that last scene of her in the bath and him telling her about his past relationship. But and then also in this episode, Michael K. Williams' character, Montrose, I believe is his name, we find out that he is actually gay in this episode. Now, obviously, the first scene is Atticus beating the crap out of him. And because he knows that he didn't just get rid of the pages, but he killed her. So that's why Atticus just beat the crap out of him. So he leaves, and we just see him have sex with the guy, and then he goes to this drag place, and he is revealed to be gay in this episode, which is a brand new twist for his character. And it seems like that's where this whole story, why he didn't end up with actually Courtney B. Vance's wife, is because of that. Which was actually a huge shock to me, a twist that I never really saw coming. And the fact that he never embraced him being gay. He never embraced himself for being gay. And then once he finally kisses his boyfriend at the end of the episode, that's the first time they've ever kissed. And it seems like they've been doing that for a while, but this is the first time that he's really embracing that he's gay in that scene where he's lifted up. And it seems like a joyous moment for his character. But again, back to Ruby. Then because of the way that her boss treated the only African-American worker back in the South Side in the bar, she quits her job as a white woman, and then while we're thinking that she's seducing the boss, she actually sticks her heel right up his butt and says a black woman did that to you. a really great scene. It's very violent. And the way that they go out of their out of their Ruby transformations, and as we see William into Christina's transformation, is so disturbing. It's so creepy. It's so violent. And you kind of want to look away, but you want to keep looking to see how everything works. And the special effects, and I feel like I say this every episode, should get a lot of credit for how great the show is, not just with the creatures that we've seen so far, but really this transformation, the violence in the show is done so well and so realistic too, while feeling still sci-fi enough. Amazing stuff from the special effects team on this show. But obviously the big twist of the episode is that William is actually also Christina. So Christina is actually one of my favorite characters of the show. I did get the feeling that we were going to see them as the same person. We never saw them on screen at the same time. Episode 4 really hinted that they were the same person. And this episode, it's confirmed. Thank you for the person who, I forgot his name, who left a comment. I'm going to pull that up right now while I'm talking. But I really, the person who, we had a comment on my last spoiler review. The user is DD Dunn, who says, I think William and Christina are the same person. William is the person who slept with Letty's sister. That is true. And DD Dunn that was the comment I got on the last spoiler review. And DD, you predicted it correctly. William and Christina are the same person. And that is now I did see it coming. It's not one of the major twists for me of the show, but it's a very good twist that makes sense in the story. The question is, was William an actual person that Christina may have killed, and then she turned into that person as well? Because Christina now goes from Ruby she's not flipping genders, she's flipping race, going from a black woman to a white woman. Christina is going from a white woman to a white male, which is really fascinating. And those two completely different dynamics of switching races and switching genders are just great things to show in this type of show in the time period that this show is taking place in. Really great stuff in here. But again, I'm going to go back to my last scene with Atticus and Letty. And the fact that Atticus, the Korean person that he met in the Korean War, who we found out was a love interest of his. She popped up in that opening dream sequence of episode 1, and then she popped in that weird dream sequence when Atticus was fighting her in episode 2. We haven't really gotten anything clues on her, but it seems like that he couldn't really tell if they were in love with each other, the way that he was talking to Letty about it. And it seems like next episode is literally just going to be backstory on their relationship. Atticus and this lady, don't know her name yet, but their relationship looks like it's going to be really brought to the forefront next episode, possibly taking up the entire episode back in the Korean War. We're going to see Jonathan Majors, where he got the anger from in the war, in the next episode, really saying. But it seems like Letty and Atticus have a real relationship. They both feel it's special. Hopefully that stays intact in the rest of the show. But that is my spoiler review of episode 5 of Lovecraft Country. As I said earlier, probably next in my head should be my playlist of TV show reviews. All of you guys are new to Maxwell's Movies, all my TV show reviews are there, including the first 4 episodes of the show. And a couple minutes ago, I reviewed the HBO Max series Raised by Wolves. So you can always check those reviews out on my channel already. Leave a comment. Give me your predictions. If you get them right, as I just did to Dee, I'm going to read them on the air here on YouTube. So please leave comments. Give me your prediction, but do not spoil. If you've read the book and you know the spoilers of the show, do not put that in the comment section. I really want to keep this community to be very spoiler-free, and this is a very spoiler review. So best way to support the channel, once again, is to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all those things. Check out my other videos. Pop them next to my head, and I'll see you in the next one.